How about that? How about that? Grace and peace, everybody. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is it, man. This is how you know you're getting a real show. Y'all getting a real show here today. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Start over because we had no sound. I appreciate y'all. I'm theater dad for the week. This is the week building up to their production. So my big girl is at school till like 6:15 every day. So, and Lady Dearwood Christian is nowhere to be seen. Where you at, baby? Come pick her up. Needless to say, my wife's not available, so I got to pick her up. So I appreciate y'all understanding all of the shenanigans we got going on. But apparently, some things have went on. Some things have happened out here in these social media post Charlie Kirk streets. What's going on out in here? This is gonna be crazy. The moderators have been keeping me posted on this, and they're like, Jason, this is bad. All right, so apparently Candace got her cease and desist letter. Okay, so that throws in the face of what I thought. I thought she got it when Erica came out there to Nashville. So apparently it wasn't that. It was truly she just got it like today or whatever. And of course, in Candace style, she's going to try to turn it into content because she has nonsense. She didn't have any other thing else to talk about. So she's been sitting on pins and needles waiting for her own special gift from the cease and desist universe so that she could have something to talk about because she doesn't have content. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring this in. I believe we've resolved the issue with the audio. I believe the audio is tight and right. If not, I'm going to do my very best while we're watching the show to make the adjustments, but I think it's been resolved. So shout out for that. Everybody, thank y'all so much for jumping in to the best live chat. Thank you so much. A brand new member up in here. And here we go. With no further ado, let's bring this in. All right. Thank you so very much for joining us. Let's get at it, children. Here we go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
All right, you guys, happy Wednesday and congratulations to me. Congratulations are in order to me. I received my first legal letter of 2026. I would say that it took longer than expected, right? We are 20 days into January, yesterday at least, when I received it. I think that's a record. I'm proud of myself. And it's going to be a legal hump day in general because we need to discuss how I was right about Taylor Swift. I respect her. I think she's a savage. Taylor Swift is a first-class passenger. If the ship is going down, she's going to make it off. She's going to be in that first lifeboat. So poor Justin Baldoni. And lastly, let's stick with pop culture today and discuss Brooklyn Beckham, whose parents are dead to him now over a wedding dance that happened 4 years ago, because I love rich people. I love rich people problems. And today there are apparently a lot of them. So welcome back to Candace.
All right. So this is the insight. This is what she wants to talk about, y'all. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's get at it, people. Let's get at it. Let's go.
I feel like I should receive an honorary law degree. I feel like I'm an expert now on legal matters. I've learned a lot about legal letters just over the last couple of years, last 3 years maybe. I've definitely learned that there is nothing quite like your first high, right? That first legal letter that you get. I mean, for me, after being sued by a sitting president of a foreign country whose husband would like to strangle me with his large bare hands. Any other letter thereafter, it just doesn't do it. It's just not the same experience. I'm not.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. I don't understand how it is. And I put this question out there on Gary's channel. How is it that Candace is still able to do this? How is she able to do this? That's gotta, you're gonna have, this is crazy work, man. The fact that she's still prodding the bear with the Macrons. She's in the midst of losing that case. She's not in a winning position. She's losing that case. She's lost other cases, but she keeps going. That's got to be studied, y'all. It's got to be studied by science. I don't even understand it. Let's keep the dance going. Let's go.
Excited anymore when Noah calls. I'm sorry, Noah. If you're watching this, I'm very sorry. It's less exciting for me this year. In order to feel what I felt when Trump called me over a first man pretending to be a lady, according to that, or regarding that lady's penis, it's just going to take a lot more,
Wow.
to get me hyped, to get me amped. I would basically have to be sued now by like Vladimir Putin over the Great Schism, seeking literal reparations. We'd have to repair it. Me and Mr. Putin would sit down, hash out the deals with the term Pope, patriarchs over a millennium-old debate. That would make me get out of bed. But this.
So I'm wondering, and I really want y'all to answer me in the chat. I'm not trying to be funny. I really want your thoughts in the chat. Is it possible that she's trying to be so bombastic, so over the top, that it comes across as confident? Have you ever seen somebody who's nervous and they begin to talk real fast, like when we watch body cam footage, right? Or they do something weird, they get real antsy, they get antic. Is it possible that Candace, her nervous defense mechanism is to just be bombastic, just like over the top, like, oh, I don't care. Oh, like almost like she fills up the space even more, like, oh, fill in. Is that possible? That's what I'm thinking, because you can't be this, or she's a plant and she knows that this is all a game. She knows she's going to win because all she can do is call whomever her handlers are and they're going to fix it for her. It's got to be one or the other. Like, she can't be this cool, calm, and collected. She just can't be, because with the Macron, she's asking people to buy her merch to help her pay her legal fees. She says she don't have the money to pay for it, allegedly. So what is this? This is just very interesting to me. Take it back.
This Turning Point USA, a cease and desist. Is that what we're doing? Is this the chapter that we are on? We're turning the chapter here to lawfare. This is what's left. You want us to believe this is Charlie's legacy? In the future, Turning Point USA is going to be thought of as the girl that peaked in high school. Free market capitalism.
She also does something else, and I know this because I have teenage daughters. She makes a lot of references to high school. I don't know. It's just weird. Movies around high school, behavior around high school. She's always talking about high school. I don't, and again, maybe I'm just like reading into it. I'm just trying to hyper analyze and give you a different perspective. I don't know. But why does she do that? It just doesn't come across. It does come across as strange. I'm sorry. Okay. Because when I talk to my wife and I hear her talk with her friends, or my wife, she has a lot of sisters. When they're talking, they never talk about high school references. And they do like movies, 80s, early 90s movies. They like a lot of movies, but they don't reference them as if they're real life in scenario. This is weird. Okay, I'm sorry. This is good. Let's go.
Open debate. Prove me wrong. Now it's suddenly shut up and serve the new queen. That's what they want, right? So just to recap, our cultural cardinal rule number 1 is that it's gay to send a legal letter. It's very gay. You shouldn't do it, especially if you can just pick up the phone and call someone. People are open to changing their mind.
Somebody clip that, because I know eventually she's going to end up suing somebody. She's going to send a legal letter one day. Somebody needs to clip that and just put in your little file folder. One day you'll need that when Candace sues somebody. I guarantee you. That is wild.
Open to being wrong. You just have to call someone. The vibe that sending out legal letter gives the internet in this day and age, it's changed. The vibes are changing. Is my daddy is so rich, he can buy the world. I'm so rich. We are so rich. We can buy whatever we want. And so now we're just going to buy you and we're going to make people like us because we can afford it. We can buy
Who's saying that?
social standing.
But Candace, isn't it funny that she's saying that while wearing, I don't even know yet. Shout out to Natalie Denise. Natalie Denise has been keeping up with her on Twitter. I'm pretty sure that blouse is probably worth a whole lot more than she's projecting. Who is saying this though, Candace? Who is saying that their daddy's so rich that they can buy you? Who said that? But if you said it, please tell us in the chat if you said it.
Elon Musk and Vivek saying they had to get into the government.
Wait, what happened?
What? Make people like us because we can afford it. We can buy social standing. Erica, chairman, CEO, Erica, my girl. Heavy is the head that wears the crown after its rightful owner was deposed. Am I right? Am I right? Now, in terms of the legal letter's content, in case you are wondering, maybe you are assuming that their main point of contention is going to be other things that I've said. Well, let me actually cut here to Tim Dillon because Tim Dillon made a joke. Maybe it wasn't really a joke after AmFest, and he insinuated that all they really care about is money. Remember this, what Tim Dillon said?
You feel it. It seems off. You feel like this is a coordinated
this is a variety
and choreographed spectacle so that you are played. They want your money. That's what they got mad at Candace about.
Yeah, no, keep playing that. Keep playing that out. I mean, you could keep playing that if you have it, but yeah.
They got mad at Candace about. They're like, why are you telling people not to give us money? She's also saying you killed the guy. Why are you mad about the money? They're just mad that they're not getting money. They want your money and they want to be celebrities.
Yeah.
Who said these things though? Turning Point never said the things that Tim Dillon said. Turning Point didn't say the things that Candace said leading up to that. Like, who is saying these things? This is wild work, y'all. Okay. All right, let's go.
You feel it. To build off of that, you feel it. The money thing matters to them. And I think that after we go through this legal letter, you're going to recognize that indeed it does seem to be the thing that they are number one most concerned about is writing the allegation that there may be some quote unquote financial impropriety, and they're quoting me, at Turning Point USA. So we obviously broke the story about Charlie establishing a Doge 7 days before he died. And it led a lot of the public to speculate. I would say this was common sense speculation, by the way, that there could have been something that made Charlie do that pertaining to the finances because Elon Musk did a thing, right? We can go back.
This is almost like this is again, like we've already discussed this. This has been worn out and she's still trying to make this a thing. She's still trying to get this, that Turning Point did something wrong. Now I notice here, she called it a Doge. She didn't say effort or audit. She just called it a Doge. I'm pretty certain she was calling it an audit before, but I think she learned a lesson from Wolves and Wall Street. That's why she doesn't, that's why she dropped effort and audit from it and just said a Doge. But let her continue, Jason.
And remember Elon Musk and Vivek saying they had to get into the government when Trump was elected. We're going to establish this thing and we're going to look where all this fat is. And this is financial impropriety. Federal government, right? The federal government has not been handling your tax dollars properly. So along comes Charlie. He decides to establish a Doge. And I guess we're supposed to believe that Doge is really about people going in there and going, no, it's so proper. It's so proper, actually, that we want to establish a Doge so we can just audit and see how amazing we are. Charlie wanted
again, and this is one of her things that she does. She likes to insert her own narrative, the whole story into it. I would hate for her to try to teach a Bible lesson because she would add so much fluff and so much extra to the story that it wouldn't even be a story anymore. Like, who said these things, Candace? Who said what you're saying? Not a soul. Nobody's saying this. And this is wild. Yeah, is this wild? And I think it's very interesting that she's not actually going through the legal letter. If she were wanting to sway the audience, I would think that she would just go ahead and start reading it and sharing it and make that the heavy portion of the show, not her stories and machinations. But we see what's important is her crafting a narrative around the cease and desist. She's going to craft a whole story. And the cease and desist will be page 83 of this 300-page book that she's crafting right here.
To get in there and look through everything because everything was just clean as a whistle. And he wanted to maybe then give that audit report to other organizations so that they could learn how amazing and proper and above board everything was at Turning Point USA.
Did he say
Anyway,
that?
let's read the letter.
Let's
and
go.
to give you some needed context before we jump in here, because you're going to go, what are they talking about with payments? Turning Point and I obviously had a long speaking arrangement, a speaking contract, which was still in effect when Charlie was assassinated. We've had a contract to speak going back to 2019, 2020. So obviously, given Charlie's assassination and the direction that my investigation took into what happened on that day, we moved to terminate that agreement, which was supposed to go on for another couple of years. So naturally, to give them credit, because this is a bit different from Wolves in Finance, them going after a YouTuber who has no relationship with them. Naturally, in any contract relation, there is standard NDA agreement that you come to. It's just kind of written in there. You're not going to disparage me. You're not going to defame me. And so they are, broadly speaking, making the allegation here that my investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk is naturally disparaging. And hey, you accepted our money. You took our money for years while Charlie Kirk was alive. So we're executing on this. You're not allowed to disparage us for another 12 months since we canceled that agreement. So the letter reads, and I'm Xing out the beginning parts that just says LLC names and stuff. And I'm also not going to reveal their lawyers' names. I don't think it's necessary. On video calls on December 4th, 2025, this was obviously pertaining to us.
Why is it not necessary? Why is it not necessary? Any other time, all this stuff is necessary to you. Any other time, you gave us ancillary, the school that Charlie may have attended when he was 6 years old. That was unnecessary. You gave us all this other unnecessary information. Why don't you give us that? This woman, there's no equal weights and measures. There's no even, you don't know which way she's going to go. I just knew she was going to give us everything. I just knew it, but some reason she didn't. I wonder why she's not. I want to kind of see the whole letter. No, maybe you should give us the whole thing, but I digress.
Ending our contract, our termination. We terminated our contract. And December 15th, I requested a retraction of Ms. Owens Farmer's disparaging statements and again provided notice that the injuries caused by her statements are substantial and continuing to accrue.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Back that up real quick. Did y'all catch that? Hold on. Did y'all catch that? Let me see. Did anybody catch that? Let me play it again just so you can hear what she said.
Termination. We terminated our contract. And December 15th, I requested a retraction of Ms. Owens Farmer's disparaging statements and again provided notice that the injuries caused by her statements are substantial. And
did you hear that? It says it right there. On video calls on December 4th, 2025 and December 15th, 2024, I requested retraction. Candace never told us that. When she came back from the interview, the conversation with Erica, they talked about everything else, talked about nail polish colors and how they pack their kids' lunches and this, that, and the other. She didn't say anything about that. That would have been a big deal when she came back on the 16th. Why did she not mention that? Okay, just seems odd. Again, another one of Candace's oh, here's a piece of information. Y'all don't really need it. I won't share it with you, but I'll mention it in passing.
Continuing to accrue. Ms. Owens Farmer has declined to issue a retraction. To the contrary, she has stated that she, quote, doesn't feel any differently about people that she mentioned on the show, and she thinks that there are shady people at Turning Point USA. Yeah, so I guess I didn't know this, but I was supposed to, according to them, when we had that meaningful discussion, which I was appreciative that we had this open book discussion. I sat down with Erica and Justin Strife, but that I was supposed to come out and say they're amazing and nobody and everybody didn't do nothing. Like, that's it. Like, 'cause
Nobody said
they're
that,
wonderful
though.
people. Like, why would I change my mind because we had a discussion? I came out and I told the truth and things that were answered. And actually what ended up happening was you conceded points to me. Anyways, it goes on. As a consequence, her statements are continuing to cause harm to Turning Point USA. We are currently working to
I think that's a typo where it says 2024. I think that's a typo. I've seen typos and I found typos in Wolves and Finances too. So I think that's what it is.
calculate the full extent to date of the still accruing damages. Okay, so someone's with a calculator and they're calculating. I'm wondering if there's a spreadsheet running of the damage that's being done by Turning Point USA themselves. Like Andrew Colvett, if we're going to sue anybody for accruing damages, like if I'm running the company, I'd go with Andrew Colvett first. Brian Harpole, that's a lot happened there with that car crash interview. Am I being punished because you lied? And I realized it or something, and somehow we have this contract that we've had for years, and now it's like, well, you're not allowed to see us do anything bad because remember we paid you. Goes on, in my December 2nd letter, I highlighted Miss Owens.
This is some high level chaos. She has, in that little soliloquy right there, she threw out 5 different things that made me think, what in the devil are you talking about? Now, I'm sitting there paying close attention to it. I can imagine what Cantifa is doing with this information. They're probably losing their minds because she threw out she said Brian Harpole in a car accident. What are you talking about? That somebody with Andrew Colvett got thrown in there, spreadsheets, calculating what TPUSA. She did all of that in that little tiny block of space. This is the chaos stuff that we've been talking about forever, where she just literally deluges you with information to the point that you almost throw in the towel and just say, whatever.
Is Farmer's ongoing contractual obligation not to make any disparaging, false, misleading, or otherwise defamatory comments about Turning Point USA and or its employees, agents, directors, officers, affiliate programs, or services. See speaking agreement, blah, blah. Owens Farmer freely undertook this obligation in exchange for payment by support from and access to Turning Point USA. Her obligation remains in effect for 12 months following the term of her agreements, which were terminated on December 2nd, 2025. Since that letter, Turning Point USA's executives have repeatedly made themselves available via phone, text, and in-person meetings to provide information and documentation. That's just not true. I mean, I'm speaking to one person at Turning Point USA.
This sounds like to me, and I'm not a legal expert at all. This sounds like to me, not a cease and desist per se, but more like you violated the terms of a contract, therefore we are firing you or excising the contract. That's what that sounds like a whole lot more to me than a true bona fide, you did these things in the other. Now, maybe it is. Maybe, and again, I've not read every type of cease and desist letter. This just seems a whole lot more like you violated a contract. You broke faith in a contract that you agreed to do one thing and you didn't do it. That's what that sounds like. This is what this is sounding like to me.
And we had that sit down. To Ms. Owens Farmer, in the hopes that providing her with the truth would get her to stop disparaging Turning Point USA in violation of the parties' contracts. Yet, notwithstanding the reminder that my letter provided to Ms. Owens Farmer of her obligations and the good.
Okay, thank you, Kelly Bagwell. Am I right? Is this more like, again, I'm a pre-K law student. That means I know nothing. This doesn't sound like a cease and desist. It sounds more like you broke a contract. Is that fair, Kelly? I'm just looking real quick. Yeah, Kelly, I'm just looking. That's what this is giving to me, as the kids would like to say. As a lawyer, she broke her contract. That's what I'm getting. This is not. Now, I mean, maybe breaking a contract is the same as a cease and desist. It's possible, I guess. I don't know. They didn't have that episode on Law and Order. Okay, they didn't have the breaking contract or cease and desist episode of Law and Order. But that's what this is sounding like to me. And I could be wrong. And I definitely I'm looking for your comment.
Faith efforts made by Turning Point USA's leadership to answer her many questions, she has continued to make statements in violation of her contractual obligations in a manner that is reckless, knowing, and intentional. For example, she has published a list of lies that she attributes to Turning Point USA, and she has stated that there is definitely financial impropriety at the company. Which lie on our Turning Point USA list of lies did they correct? Nothing. They gave an excuse for the lies.
This is one of the other things. And Kelly says this, yes, this is a violation of contract, which is still not good at all for Candace. This is one of the other things. Thank you so very much, Kelly. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for being a supporter of the channel. Another thing that Candace chooses to do, and maybe this is why we've been watching those body cam footage, where somebody tries to adjudicate their case on the side of the road. Let me see the body cam footage. I wasn't speeding. Let me see the camera. Let me see the radar. Who said I ran through that red light? Stuff like that, where they want to fix it like literally on the side of the road. And they think that they can be judge and jury over evidence right there on the side of the road, and it doesn't work. I heard an officer say, you may beat the charge when you go before the judge, but you're not going to beat the ride. You're going to take that ride. And that's the thing with Candace, is like, she wants to judge and rule over everything right here in the public square, not in the court where it's supposed to be, not the court of popular opinion, but the actual judicial legal court location. I just think that's amazing. Let's go.
And I told the public about the excuse. They said Andrew went rogue. Andrew did this. I don't know why he said that. I don't know why they said that. They have conflicting answers about the drones. Brian Harpole says this. Andrew Colvett says this. Their lawyer says that. So what am I doing wrong by tracking that? Isn't the issue that you lied? Not the issue that the public noticed? There's not a single thing that they cleared up that I then said, oh, okay, I just completely had that wrong on our list of lies. They conceded. Erica came out and said, Charlie, I had his phone. He never said the night before that he was afraid he was going to die. She said that on Glenn Beck. They then get in front of me. They say, okay, yeah, no, he did. I didn't know because it was in a special, app. Yeah, he also messaged Dan Flood. I didn't know because we're not talking to Dan Flood. Okay. What am I missing here? This next sentence sends me. She has claimed to know that there are people at Turning Point USA who are not good people, and has suggested that Turning Point USA and TPUSA Faith have been infiltrated by military operatives. Yes, I do know there are people at Turning Point USA who are not good people. I stand by that. It's the truth. I specifically said Tyler Boyer was a sexual deviant. I stand by that. It's the truth. Turning Point USA Faith, the military. I'm sorry I looked up these people. I'm sorry that Rob McCoy is out there defending somebody who went to prison.
So I got the Tyler Boyer video. If you didn't watch it this weekend, Tyler Boyer did a video, a podcast, and answered all those questions about what Candace is talking about. I have the reduced version, the trimmed down version. I'm going to have that come up tomorrow so you can check that out. Needless to say, Candace is just making this stuff out of whole cloth. I do want to bring this in just real quick. Oh, this is the wrong one. Okay. But this is that list that she put up, this list of verified lies. And we're like, what are you talking about? Like, some of these things are just wholeheartedly not true. And I have both of them. I pulled the wrong one up to start with. But I just think that's very interesting how she goes about this. Let's pull her back in. Let's get done.
For molesting kids. The issue is I noticed, again, where is the lie that I have told? Let's see if we're going to get to it. Moreover, it continues. She has accused a Turning Point USA employee of being intentionally evasive in an effort to clear Erica Kirk's name, specifically as to whether Ms. Kirk was at Fort Huachuca in or around an alleged secret meeting that Ms. Owens Farmer has linked to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now, I told the truth. I said that I requested this multiple times over weeks, and each time I was given an excuse. That's just the truth. I was told she was really busy, and then she popped up at a game, and I said, hey, can I get something? And they sent me something that wasn't what I asked for. So that's just the truth. And then said that it was on me last week because I had my son's birthday and family in town that I was going to send you a screen record of what I actually wanted. And I said, maybe it's because there's a third party there. It's not.
I'm going to say it again. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. This probably needs to be the standard. Turning Point USA has created this monster. Turning Point USA should have given her nothing. Once she started this foolishness, they should have just said, cut ties, nobody talk to her. I'm sorry. This is not a popular opinion. This is Turning Point's fault. They shouldn't have been given, nobody needs to be giving her any information. Nobody should be going back and forth like, oh, we didn't mean to send you this. We should have sent you that and send us a video of what you want us to send. Ixnay you. Who cares what you got to say? Turning Point, y'all need to stop messing with this woman. Andrew Colvett, you need to stop messing with this woman. Every last one of you. Like, this is what y'all get. You do realize if you just left her alone and sent her a cease and desist, she would have had nothing to build off of. But y'all gave her stuff. Y'all sent her text messages. You try to send her screen grabs and such like that, and it wasn't enough for her. That's y'all fault, Turning Point. I know that's not popular. I'm sorry, but Turning Point, y'all need to stop. You need to see her as the enemy. She's the enemy. If you're playing a basketball game, if you're playing a football game, you don't send your plays and your hand signals to the other team for them to study the day before the game. Would you do that? Well, no. Then treat her like that. We're not sending you nothing else. Go kick rocks. She's not doing anything, which I think is really the part of the problem. This is some Chitlin Circuit, Bojangles investigation. It's not going to lead anywhere. Nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter what Candace comes up with her spreadsheets and which, by the way, she still hasn't put that raw data on her website, the plain data. None of it leads anywhere. It's going to go to nowhere. Nothing's going to happen. Now, one person is going to go to jail because of what Candace Owens is doing with this Inspector Gadget, Mr. Magoo investigation. So stop messing with her. Laugh at her like we do. Come join us, Turning Point USA. You know what? Usually we have Cantifa come up here to the front of the church. Okay, we're going to have to, Cantifa, y'all going to have to sit out there in the regular population. We need Turning Point USA to come up here to the front of the church. We're going to let them have a premium seat up here in the front of the church. All of y'all, Eric and Mikey and Rob and all of y'all, Andrew, and definitely you, Andrew. All y'all come up here to the front of the church and listen. Stop playing with this woman. She don't have good intentions. There you go. You thought she had good intentions, and I apologize that you did. And I apologize. You were giving her the benefit of the doubt. That was a lot of people don't fault you for that, the weeks and month after Charlie Kirk's death. But Charlie Kirk has been passed for 4 months now. Y'all got 90 days to stop playing with this woman. Why y'all still playing with her?
Clear. But to date, they haven't sent me what I asked for.
Who cares,
So,
Brenda?
I told the truth. In short, Ms. Owens Farmers has not put an end to what she has expressly admitted to be a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for the Charlie Kirk show. Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrew Cole, that sucks.
Wow.
My December 2nd letter, it continues, emphasize that Ms. Owens Farmer must cease her disparaging comments. And
wait, hold on. Okay, wait. I missed this even in the earlier portion. There's been 2 letters. I knew it. I knew she got served before. I knew it. It says right here in my December 2nd letter. That means there was a letter delivered on December 2nd. And there was one delivered on December 15th. This woman, please. I mean, we might need to just take a moment and pray that the Lord, that the Turning Point will go ahead and bring that noise. Go ahead and sue this woman. Go ahead. She's already had a letter. Please post this, Candace. Please post this.
this letter reiterates that obligation that includes, in part, ceasing to state or imply that Turning Point USA and or its employees, agents, directors, officers, affiliates, programs, or services played any part in Mr. Kirk's assassination. Ms. Owens, Farmer must not state or imply that Turning Point USA and or its employees, agents, directors, officers, affiliates, programs, or services knew about the assassination beforehand, participated in the assassination day of, or covered up the truth about the assassination after the fact. Okay. That's it. That's the guts of the letter. Now, I've been very clear that there's only one reason, again, kill me for having common sense, that people lie. Why do people lie? Because they're covering something up. There's no other reason to lie, actually. I mean, you could be pathological, I suppose. You could just do it for funsies. But
Remember, I've speculated about 87% of the stuff that she says about other people on her show or publicly or whatever is really how she rolls. So I'm gonna back this up just a little smidgen. So as we think about her talking about people lying, just think about, why would Candace lie?
and kill me for having common sense, that people lie. Why do people lie? Because they're covering something up. There's no other reason to lie, actually. You could be pathological, I suppose. You could just do it for funsies. But when you consistently tell lies, it's usually because you're covering up something. Even if it's a small lie, my kid tells a little fib, it's because they're covering up something that they don't want you to find out, right? So because Turning Point USA is lying, it is a totally fair and reasonable assessment that they are engaged in a cover up. Now, are they protecting one another, their mistakes that they made? Are they trying to protect the organization because they know there are some bad eggs, loyalty to one another because they knew each other, going back a decade, blackmail again? Who know? I can't tell you why, but I can say that when people lie, it's because they're engaged in a cover up. And that is something I'm going to stick by, an opinion I'm going to stick by, actually.
Wow. When you just listen to that and you go with the notion that Candace is lying, if you just go with, just ride with me in the theater of your mind. When you think like Candace is lying, who are the bad actors that she's trying to cover up? Who's the bad eggs or the person, money? Who is it? It opens up a whole new world of shenanigans when you think that is she just projecting? Is she just projecting? Wow, this is insane.
Actually. So now regarding the broader point about financial impropriety, which being financially, improper is not a crime, right? If you have a charity and actually only 1 cent out of $1 actually goes to what you say it's going to go to, it's not illegal, right? I'm not saying that's the case. Turning Point USA, we've barely covered their finances.
Why are you
actually
even doing that then?
But I think that what they want is your money. So I'll make amends. Everybody watching, give all of your money to Turning Point USA. They are amazing. They are above board. That
is such an interesting position to hold. Let it go, Jess.
They do nothing wrong. They're not focused on money. They just want yours. If you are watching this, please, if you have a 401k, consider giving that to Turning Point USA. If you're watching this, please, if you're saving up to take your kids to a theme park, instead think about parking that money with Stacey Sheridan and Tyler Boyer and Erica Kirk at Turning Point USA. If you've got a grandma and she's frail and she's sick, consider rewriting her will and giving it to Turning Point USA. It will go to a very good cause. There's always a need for more pyrotechnics. If you are, trying to pay down your credit card, maybe don't do that, and try to do a monthly payment instead to Turning Point USA. And yeah, nothing they've ever done has been financially improper. It's crazy that anyone would say that. In fact, they are the most proper organization in the world. Israel's the most moral army in the world, and Turning Point USA is the most financially proper.
I can't. Y'all, I'm sorry. I what in the merciful name of God did we just watch? Y'all, Turning Point. I'm talking to you, Turning Point. Turning Point. If you do not sue that woman's socks off, I don't want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you, Turning Point. I mean, I want socks. I want the stock of socks to go up because you sued her socks off so bad. I mean, really. I mean, if she got bunions on her feet, if she got calluses, they're ashy, we need to see it all. You better sue her socks off or we don't want nothing to do with you. Nothing. I mean, her all her socks. If they got a hole in the sock, I don't care. We want that too. Good gracious alive. This woman is evil, y'all. I've said it before. I am not trying to make put a sock emoji in the chat just so I can feel like I'm not going crazy. Please put a sock emoji in the chat. This woman is evil, y'all. I'm not saying that it's hyperbole. Candace is bona fide, unadulterated, wicked. That's it. There's no way around it. My name is Jason. She ain't gonna beat them charges. So don't even waste your time, right? This woman is evil, man. This woman is vile. And I know Cantifa gonna be jumping all over this. Y'all go ahead and jump all over it and go jump to the foot of the cross because y'all need Jesus. If y'all still rock with this woman, she gonna lead you to hell. That's my name. My name is Jason. DearWokesy@gmail.com. Candace gonna lead you to hell. I ain't got nothing to do. I don't even care about Turning Point because Turning Point, if they don't sue her socks off, I don't want nothing to do with her. But this woman right here gonna lead y'all to hell in style. And guess what? I hope she don't have no socks on.
Orientation of the world. And if you want to know how proper they are, they're sitting around they got a legal team to ensure that good things are said about the finances, which I think I've covered on this show. Like,
let us see the letter. And I know we will, I'll be paying attention. As soon as that letter is available, I might just do a live stream reading it. I want to know what they said pertaining to that. Because she makes it sound like all they're concerned about is money, but it's their reputation that you're trashing. Let it go, Jason.
A couple of times. The thrust of this is looking into the people that are taking over Turning Point USA, their backgrounds. And I'm going to continue to be honest about that. I said to my lawyer, here's what we're actually going to do with Turning Point. What do you know? How do you reply to this, right? Could they make
They have a legal team and it's bad. You have a lawyer. You've mentioned his name directly. And that's okay that you have a lawyer, but Turning Point, they can't have a lawyer or a legal team. Okay, gotcha. Y'all, this woman, Candace gonna make y'all look. Candace makes y'all look like you're idiots. Again, Candace Owens is an IQ test. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thing out of this, because technically you do have that non-disparagement clause and you have it for 12 months since the contract was officially terminated. Yeah, there's also things known in contract law as unforeseeable circumstances when you sign an agreement. And when I signed an agreement to go on tour with Charlie Kirk, I think it would be fair to argue that his assassination, his public assassination, was an unforeseeable circumstance. In fact, I signed on the dotted line to work beside Charlie Kirk because he built a company that I believed in.
Okay, that's one of the first times she's ever mentioned that he built a company without her. Remember, she's a mason of Turning Point. Remember that? So she just said he built a company that I believed in. So the company existed before she came aboard.
Okay. And now everything that company seems to be about runs counter to my belief. In fact, there are strong contractual arguments to be made about unconscionable clauses. I would say it would be unconscionable for me to choose silence in the wake of Charlie Kirk's public assassination. It is unconscionable. I actually don't need a judge to decide on that. I don't need a judge to decide on that because the ultimate judge is in heaven. And I told you guys that you'd have better luck from keeping the sun rising into the sky than to try to keep me from investigating Charlie Kirk's assassination. In other words, Turning Point USA, you'd have better luck suing the Sun. Get your lawyer to send a cease and desist to the Sun, and you will have better luck in terms of getting it to stop than from getting me to look away to what happened to Charlie. That's how I feel, okay?
I'm going to say this real quick, and I'm going to add this to why I said this is Turning Point's fault. There's an adage that says, nobody says anything when a dog barks at the moon. Everybody would say something if the moon barked back at the dog. Candace is the insignificant chihuahua barking at the moon. Turning point, regretfully, has been the moon barking back at the chihuahua. And therein is the problem. There is the problem, that they have given her all this ability, and they should have easily, they could have easily just ignored her and gave her no, it's definitely gave her no information, no text messages, no pictures, no metadata, none of that stuff. They could have gave her none of that, but they gave it to her, and now look what they have. I don't know what the problem is with her and Andrew. I think that's a great question. I don't know if she got a hankering for Andrew or what, but Andrew Colvett really turns her screws. That's for sure. And she's got a thing for Andy. I don't know what it is, but let her go. Let us go.
And you can just take that as a fact, take it to the bank, do what you have to do, get your donors, and I'm sure you got a lot of them to fund, whatever it is. But I told my lawyer, here's what you do: go back to them and say, how much money do you want? This contract stuff is just, it's done, guys. This whole thing of contracting people so that you can be a bad person and getting a lawyer to read times, it's done. It's over. It's dead on arrival. Name your price, Turning Point USA. How much would you like? Would you like all of your money back? What's it worth? What's it worth to you, actually? I want to know the number, because then I'm going to go online, start a GoFundMe, and raise it overnight. That's
I got one. How about you pay back all the people in Australia that you're not going to pay back because they didn't get those tickets? They bought tickets to see you speak in Australia. I think that's adorable. And notice what she said. I'm going to go start a GoFundMe to get the people to fund whatever it is that I give you, not out of her own paycheck. So she still thinks that Cantifa is the fool. She's making y'all are the mark. Cantifa, you are the ones that she's making a fool out of. I'm going to back that up because y'all didn't hear it because I was talking. I know. Watch this. Maybe right there.
And say, how much money do you want? This contract stuff is just, it's done, guys. This whole thing of contracting people so that you can be a bad person and getting a lawyer to read times, it's done. It's over. It's dead on arrival. Name your price, Turning Point USA. How much would you like? Would you like all of your money back? What's it worth? What's it worth to you, actually? I want to know the number, because then I'm going to go online, start a GoFundMe, and raise it overnight. That's how much people care about getting to the truth. So you're going to see how much people actually care about learning what happened on September 10th.
So Cantifa, she's betting that you're going to fund her antics. Oh yeah, I'm about to go pick a fight, but then I'm going to have y'all fight them for me. You're going to dig in your pocket. This woman is a multimillionaire. Her husband is many, many times over millionaire. And she's going to have you dig in your pocket. I know them gas prices are going down. I know the price of eggs has gotten reasonable, but you going to take from your budget, your kids' funding, your whatever you do with your money to fund her behavior. That's what she thinks about y'all. I'm just want to make sure you heard that, because I heard it. Did you hear it, Cantifa?
There are things that you should value above money in life. My God is not money. Okay, I don't worship money. I do worship truth. And I would like to know truthfully what took place on September 10th. And if I have a platform, which is not my platform, actually, it's God's platform. If I have a platform and I can get to the truth of that, I'm gonna use it for those purposes. So just name your price. How much money do you want in your pocket to release me from this contract? Think about it and email us back. We'll be right back after a break.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't think when she says truth, I don't think we're talking about the same thing. I know that Christ is truth. Jesus is truth, but I don't think that's who she's talking about. I could be, trying to split hairs. Feel free to tell me if you think I'm splitting hairs. DearWokesy@gmail.com. I don't think that's what she's talking about, though. When she says she worships truth, that was different. That was different. Shout out to Slayer with the $5 Super says this, why is she talking about celebs when she hasn't gotten to the bottom of the Charlie Kirk case? I thought that was her top priority. Now, well, she's about to shift gears in a second. Thank you so much, Kelly, for the $2. I appreciate you. Thank you. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Thank you. There she goes. One of her sponsors today is Bees. Is it really? You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. I appreciate you. I'm looking. If I see it pop up, I will pull it up. We will have a good laugh. Thank you so much for the 10. You make a great point. Her talking about high school a lot. I've been thinking the same thing. I felt that she's replaying her bullied era. That could be it. The other day, she called TPUSA the cool kids. She loves doing that. But why? I've never seen anybody else do that. Why is it that she keeps bringing up high school and high school play? And again, my kids love watching that stuff, but they don't relish it. They'll mention it every blue moon, but I expect that from 18 and 16-year-old girls. You kind of give them a little bit of grace, right? But when you're talking about a 30-something-year-old woman with 4 kids and a whole husband, and you still talking like that, that's problematic. That just doesn't work with me. Thank you for the 5. She says this. She thinks she can bully people into backing out of litigation. That's a great point. LOL. Regarding Brigitte, Candace's obsession with over the P word that isn't her husband is wild. This is going to have to be studied by science. I'm really looking forward to hearing like some of our legal experts that have been on the channel. I did reach out to Nick, by the way. People ask about Nick. I did reach out to Nick. Nick was actually busy, so he wasn't able to jump on. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but Nick Brooks is kind of thorough. He does not like getting thrown into stuff that he hasn't. So he'll probably address this tomorrow or Friday. But I just want you to know that I did reach out to Nick. Slayer Prince. Whoa, thank you so much, Slayer, with the 5. They tried to call her. She didn't want to clear anything up. So all that's left after reasoning is to sue to show the public where the lies are. I mean, they reached out to her, and I think that's why she didn't show that whole letter. I just think that she would have shown that whole letter. If it was in her favor, she would have shown you the first page all the way to the last. Why did she not do that? I want to see the letter. But I won't be surprised if I don't see it, though. Thank you so much, Mike, with the 10. I work for a top company, and we had a yearly effort we called Cost Down. We would study the process, materials, etc., meant to wring every cent of savings possible. Is that a weird, can't miss? I think most companies probably would do that. When you think about what Turning Point is, what their focus is, they're not just out here making widgets. They're not just out here making Yeti cups or something. They're a political arm. They probably want to spend the money as best as possible because they know people like Candace are going to be the ones looking at them. Shout out. Thank you so much for that, brother. Thank you so much. We finished, Deborah, with the $2 super. I appreciate you. No question, no comment. Just pure love of the game. Thank you very much. Junebug with the 5. This is exactly why Charlie didn't say anything demeaning to her either, because they had a contract. She never told us that she had a contract. Why? Sus. That is a very good question. This is my first time hearing her say that she was under contract with them. I don't think I've heard that before. That's a very keen. Yeah, that's why we listen. That's why we watch this together. I don't think she's ever mentioned that before. Greg says this with the 5. Hopefully they get their money before the Macron. Yo. Because the Macron's going to get every cent. I think the Macron, I don't know. Do y'all think the Macrons want money, or do you think they just want like public shaming? In the chat, let me know what you think. Thank you so much, Irene, with the 5. When Scam just lies, it's a mistake, and I'm not perfect. But very rarely does she even acknowledge that she's made a mistake or a lie or anything. But I agree with you for sure. And coming back around, Ruben with the 5, she literally wants people to screen record their phones to prove their innocence. She sounds like an abuser. I think she is an abuser. She abusing us. Stephanie says this with a 10. One of the trademarks of a narcissist is their inability to admit that they've made a mistake. She will continue to triple down or pivot, aka Beckham drama, pride is evil. Thank you so much. I got to find out what this Beckham thing is, but I've heard about it in passing. So I'll make sure, maybe we'll find out today. Thank you so much, Slayer, again with the 2. I wish meeting between Erica Kurt and Candace was live stream. The only reason I don't think it, well, I'm glad I wish it was too. I'm with you. But the reason I think if it had, I think Candace would have moved totally different. Now, I do wish it had been. I just want to hear Erica's side of what happened. That would be beneficial. So I'm right there with you. Shout out again, Amethyst. Been a member for 20 months. Letters received right before she went away for 2 weeks and is so angry she is projecting her own doom. So that means she's had these. So she's actually, this will be the 3rd letter because she got one on the 2nd, one on the 15th, and now this one. So when she said, I got my first lawsuit in 2025 or 2026, ma'am, you've gotten 3 legal letters. That sounds just like the Macrons, by the way. Shout out for sure. Thank you very much. Brand new. Excuse me, Stephanie, brand new member. Thank you so much. What's Black Sigma say? Shout out to you. TP, you are one step away from me giving Jay $100 super chat to get it now. Thank you so much. Hey, whatever they need to do, TP, do that thing so Sigma can do that. Shout out. And Amethyst says this is the 5. Dave was strategic with that drop. The walls are closing in and collapsing at the same time. I'm right there with you. This is going to be wild to watch. This is going to be some fun stuff to watch. Debbie says this is the 5. Sorry, Jason, was working late. Can you help me? Did she receive a cease and desist letter from TPUSA? Yes. At the current moment, we understand it as a cease and desist. It reads like you broke and violated a contract, but apparently it's a cease and desist. She says it's a cease and desist. Love you, Jason. Love the mods and love the chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, friend. And again, right here, Carrie with the 5. Are people realizing Candace was still being paid by TPUSA after Charlie died? I call me amazed. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So they are honoring her contract all while she was defaming them and ruining their lives. She's evil. I didn't know that. I mean, that's a keen observation. I like how she just said it in passing. Like, oh, yeah, I was under a contract. Wait, hold on. Please, Cantifa, wake up. What's my brother say right here? Adam, the Marine gamer, says this. She peaked in high school. That's why she talks about it so much. Also, she thinks this is all a game. I'm laughing because President Firstborn, when she came back from college, I told her that she had to go pick up her sister from school. And guess what she said? Dad, I can't go up there to school. I didn't peak in high school. That's exactly what she said. I think that's hilarious. She did end up picking her sister up, though. But she said she didn't let anybody see her. She didn't let anybody see her. Let's bring Candace back up in here. Let's get it done, y'all. Thank you so much for the very kind supers. Let's go. Here we go. Lord have mercy.
Was worth more. His life was worth more than every red penny that Turning Point USA ever paid me. Prove me wrong, Turning Point. Prove me wrong. Name your price. We'll get it. New energy, just new energy coming in 2026. We feel it. It feels like the old guard is dying, like the Epstein world that Tim Dillon was discussing, the way that these people behave, lawsuits that they think allow them to be a bad person. It was the very reason that last year I became obsessed. That was another, we just got to kind of peek and go, oh my, were we ever liking people in Hollywood? How did we ever find these people to be funny? We started realizing how they behave. How are we glorifying these people? It made us spiritually sick looking at the Justin Baldoni case.
It's wild that she keeps saying us. Like, who is us? I don't know who any of these people are that she's about to talk about, but Candace, who is us? It's you. You're the one looking at that. Nobody else is caring. Like, that's wild work. Okay, let's go.
I couldn't believe it. It was just Mean Girls, Blake Lively, never told no, very bratty, wanted some publishing rights because that's what happened. And when she was told, no, you can't take this over, she said, oh, I don't, nobody tells me no. Never been told no my whole life. And her and her husband conspired, brought in the big guns, Taylor Swift. And I told you guys, another coin in the Candace was right jar. I said, let me tell you something about Taylor Swift. She's going to survive this. I've been watching Taylor her whole career. I know how she gets down. If you guys have my book, Make Him a Sandwich, I have a whole chapter on Taylor Swift, just documenting the things that she does. You got to give credit where credit is due. She's first class on the Titanic, okay? A lot of times thought it was going to sink, and then Tree, her agent, is like, nope, cut that friend off. We're going to save you. And the closest we got to seeing the real Tay-Tay is when I said, okay, I see what she is, was the Kanye West situation way back when. You remember that whole saga? Kanye called her up and asked her about using her name in a verse, to all my South Side N-words that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. And then he says, I made that bitch famous. I made that bitch famous. And then her fans reacted when this dropped and was like, oh my, no, you're a feminist. This is so wrong. And then Taylor Swift came out and actually Tree, her PR, the woman that's a savage that runs the.
There's no way in the world. Okay. All right. Look. I'm here to pick a fight tonight. I'm picking a fight. If you believe that Candace Owens is any flavor of a Christian, any flavor of somebody who's been regenerated in Christ, email me dearwokec@gmail.com. And I'll just have you come on the show and you'll just go ahead and make that case. Okay. Any flavor, I don't, whatever, whatever. Email me dearwokec@gmail.com. I'm sorry. This woman, what are we listening to? I'm sorry. This is the ravings of a lunatic. I'm sorry. There's no way you're not gonna convince me that this is not the ravings of somebody who is terrified that she has now 2 big lawsuits looming, and I know for a fact there is a third one coming. I know that. So she's got the Macrons, and they got her over the barrel. They got TPUSA. And there's another one coming. Those are 3 I know. You can't convince me this is not the ravings of a mad woman who knows that her goose is cooked, who knows her time is up. You're just not going to convince me. Okay, let's do this. Let's get back.
The whole thing said, this is a lie. She never heard this song. Never happened. And turns out that Kanye had video of it, and Kim Kardashian, who I don't even like, just started dropping the receipts, and you see that he called her and she got a little close to the sun there. And then she issued a statement and said, it wasn't actually the first sentence about having sex that bothered me. It was the bitch word. This was her statement. I'm going to remind you because now it's coming in relevance. Where is the video of Kanye telling me that he was going to call me that bitch in his song? It doesn't exist because it never happened. You don't get to control someone's emotional response to being called that bitch in front of the entire world. So then it was like, oh, that was the issue. The B word. Don't say that because she's a feminist.
So she, instead of talking about the lawsuit, the cease and desist, or Charlie Kirk, she's talking about Taylor Swift getting called the B word by Kanye West. Okay. All right. There we go.
Didn't seem honest to me. Well, this is interesting because now this Justin Baldoni thing has happened and Taylor Swift has been pulled into it. And she said, bye-bye, Blake, goodbye forever. But now her messages are out and it turns out that Taylor Swift called Justin Baldoni a bitch with a tiny violin. And she knew that Blake Lively was going to file that sexual harassment complaint to get these publishing rights, take over the movie. And TMZ's like, ooh, this doesn't look great for Taylor. Because remember her story, she was like, I just walked into the apartment. Justin Baldoni was there. I had nothing to do with anything. And I felt compelled to suddenly.
I just got it. I just figured it out. Okay. I just figured out big screen. Because everybody's wondering, like, what is she talking about? Why is she talking about this? I'm going to go on a limb. Her lawyer said, you got to break some of this up. You can't be talking about all things Charlie Kirk and all things TPUSA. We got to break this up. And so now she did a big segment. The large segment was on TPUSA. Now she's going to talk about Taylor Swift. And I bet you she's not going to talk about TPUSA or anything else around that till the end. Maybe during the comments, but I think that's what she's doing. She's trying to diffuse and try to dilute her show, even though there's no way. I mean, you've been talking about Charlie Kirk for almost 90 days, 3 months, give or take. But I think that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to break it up a little bit, like, oh, let me talk about this topic right here and try to move into it. She even mentioned in the beginning, she said, in pop culture. I've never heard her talk about, she's going to talk about a topic outside of the Macrones or now, of course, Charlie Kirk, TPUSA, and announce it. I've never heard her do that. But I think that's what it is. In the chat, let me know if you agree. Oh, you probably want to see her first. Well, let's go. Now let's go.
Comment on the scripts, I was being set up. I'm the victim too. And I'm going to give her a little bit of credit. There's a little bit of truth here. What we learn when you get into the nitty gritty is that she was on her way to the apartment, but while she was on the way, Blake did text her over the script, the scene that she wanted to be replaced. And she basically said, when you get here, review this, let's gang Justin Baldoni and make him feel pressured, exactly as Justin Baldoni described it. And she did it. So did she have a ton of heads up about it going into the apartment? No, but she had enough of a heads up that she knew she was going to play her role. And she replied to Blake Lively and she's like, yeah, I got you, girl. Let's do this. Whoa. And she's joking with Blake Lively behind the scenes about how, well, Justin was smart. He wouldn't even allow you to include me in anything because he knows that basically, we're going to take this thing over. Like this is basically going to give us an effective majority if Taylor Swift is involved because Taylor Swift has a lot of fans. She knows how to use the army. You read the chapter in my book, you will never unsee it. She's good. You got to credit where credit's due. Okay. And she did. She texted Blake Lively in early December of 2024 regarding the New York Times hit piece that was coming out. And she said, quote, I think this BITCH knows something is coming because he's got out his tiny violin. So she's watching him. He's emotional. We knew that he ended up in a hospital. He was so stressed out by everything. Sony execs, by the way, fully backing up Justin Baldoni's side, describing Blake Lively as a terrorist in text messages. Like a terrorist. She just basically signed on the dotted line to take over the movie. That was it. She wanted the movie and the movie rights. And she just shows who Taylor Swift is. That's fine. I'm still going to bop to London, boy, because I know what she is. So I could take her music and bop to it, but also not buy into the brand of feminism and like nice girls marching together. And it's interesting to see where this has gone. I think a lot of people are like, I can't believe it. I'm so surprised to see this. Not even listening to my podcast. And so it looks like this is going to keep going on. And I think we're going to there's a lot of paperwork that I still have to read through. But just my immediate feedback on, Taylor Swift being more involved than people thought. I mean, come on, guys. It's Taylor. Taylor didn't get to where Taylor is because she's an idiot. Okay. She's not an idiot. And she was smart to pull back from Blake when Tree put her head up, realized which way the wind was blowing, and said, we gotta evacuate Taylor's brand from Blake's immediately. So she's going to survive this. Now, this next story, I have to give you guys my opinion on. If you are not following, you're seeing all the headlines about Brooklyn Beckham.
Okay. All right. Look. I see she has talked about this before, the Taylor Swift, Blake Livingston story before. But is it not? Can you see why I think that looks a little odd that on the tail of her talking about this TPUSA cease and desist, she talks about Taylor Swift? Now, maybe, what do they call it? The Swifties? Maybe it's really a big deal. Maybe. But can you see that, like, I would think that that's kind of weird. I think this is about to be even weirder. I don't know who this dude is. So that's the part I'm getting. Like, why do you keep talking about stuff that's not around this if all you care about is the Charlie Kirk assassination? And now you over here talking about this guy with those tattoos. Yo, what in the world? What are y'all doing to me? Right. Who cares about this? I thought all you cared about, you just said you can stop the sun from rising before you stop me from looking at Charlie Kirk. Well, clearly all we got to do is bring Taylor Swift up in the conversation. And we'd have made you shift into that in 5 minutes. It just seems weird to me. And maybe I'm over analyzing it. Maybe my coffee's kicked in. There was a little bit of coffee left in here. So yeah, I am drinking coffee late. So maybe the coffee's kicking in, making my brain crazy. But is that not strange? Maybe it's just me. So I apologize. Let's get back to it. Let's go.
I think he's the firstborn son of Victoria Posh Spice Beckham. David Beckham, the football player, much adored family unit. Obviously, they have made their family, the closeness of their family, very much a brand. And they're loved from England to here. And American women, we are starting to get a little bit of a reputation, right? Wallace Simpson goes over, the king abdicates the throne. She was like, I think she was an American, was she an actress, Wallace Simpson? I can't remember. Abdicates the throne. It causes this massive scandal, right? Meghan Markle goes over there and Prince Harry abdicates England, causes this whole race kerfluffle. Now we've got Nicola Peltz, who is another American actress, and she goes over there, and what is she doing? Now Brooklyn Beckham doesn't speak to his two brothers. He doesn't speak to his sister, who's 14, by the way. It's very sad. He doesn't speak to his mother, father. They've unfollowed them on Instagram, and he's blocked his family. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is an incredibly interesting set of circumstances. It's interesting because of
I think the Lord allowed me to be on mute. Do straight men care about this? I just want to know. I just want to know. She has just listed probably 7 people's names. I have no clue who she's talking about. I have no idea what's going on here. What is transpiring here, people? What are we doing? What is going on here? Ruben don't care about it. I think the Lord wanted me to be muted so I wouldn't so I had a chance to think about what I was going to say. Like, what are we talking about? I'm sorry. I really think that she's trying to dilute the content so it's not all all TPUSA every day, even though it's been that for the last almost 4 months. That's what I think she's trying to do. Because it just seems like a cold shift to me. Like, again, you all have told me that she's talked about this before. And okay, then I apologize. It just seems like a big shift. If that's all she's been talking about for the last however long, and now all of a sudden y'all want a screenshot of that, y'all crazy. Okay. Oh, by the way, I've determined what we're going to do for our 100,000 subscriber celebration. I'm going to show y'all, I'm going to open up my folder and show y'all all the screenshots that I've captured of Candace's face. They are hilarious. But then also, I am going to go, Bronson and this crazy thing about French toast and peanut butter. I don't know what this is. So I've determined when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to live stream it too. There's a wonderful French bakery near my house. They make a really good French toast. I'm going to go get one. I'm going to get some peanut butter, and we're going to find out for sure. We're going to find out. So as soon as I hit 100,000 subscribers, that's when it's going to happen. So just, if you haven't subscribed, help your boy out. All right, let's go with this. Let's finish this up.
the reasons that he gives for doing this, right? And the manner that he did this, he just blasts it out onto his Instagram stories, which we're going to read through. But to give you the background, when everyone sort of saw this riffraff happening and him and his brother suddenly hating each other, and everyone's kind of leaking into the press, Nicola's leaking to the New York Post and about friction that he has with the brothers, whatever, people were like, is this really over a wedding dress? We knew a kerfluffle happened at this billionaire wedding, which pertained to a dress, okay? Nicola wanted her dress allegedly to be designed by Victoria Beckham. For some reason, that fell through. And she instead, I hope you're sitting to hear this, she had to get her wedding dress designed by Valentino Couture. Oh my gosh, the horror. And so whatever happened at this wedding, this was the beginning. And it got so bad that he moved, and this was kind of when it got really ugly. Last August, he decided to have a secondary wedding without any of the Beckhams. So this wedding was 4 years ago. And then some 3-4 years later, he decides me and Nicola are going to get married again, this time without my own family, because this dress kerfluffle. We were like, could this really be about a dress? Well, lo and behold, Brooklyn Beckham decides to blast his parents And it's amazing what he says here. We're just going to read his stories so that you can see what life is like on the other side, because maybe you woke up today and you're wondering, what's it like to wake up and just have so many millions, like Turning Point USA, that you can just have lawyers fire off legal letters all day. Maybe you woke up and you said, what's it like to have so many millions that you can be like Blake Lively and just have your husband try to steal publishing rights from someone. Maybe you're thinking that these stories will help you. It's a guide to being rich and having nothing to do. Brooklyn writes, I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice but to speak for myself and tell the truth about only some of the lies that have been printed. I do not want to reconcile with my family. Okay, I'm locked in. I'm like, oh crap, we're gonna find out, like, for real, like they're dead to you. What could your family do that they're dead to you? Like, whoa, okay. I'm locked in. I'm on his side. Then he goes, I'm not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life, for my entire life. My parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family. Okay, yeah, you're like 18. I mean, you just got married. Well, how young was he? You got married 23. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like, you were living in their house. Why would you be speaking to the press? What have you done? You have two famous parents. Okay, let's keep going. He writes, the performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationships have been a fixture of the life that I was born into. And by life, he means of extraordinary wealth and privilege. And regarding inauthentic Instagram posts, welcome to Instagram. Welcome to social media, my friend. Have you scrolled through your own feed? You and your wife. I love you. I love you, baby. I love you. You're so perfect. I love you. I love you more. I love you, my sprinkle poop hair, baby. Boop boobs. I love you. It's a piece of baby. It's wonderful. I love you. And now you're posting and you're about to tell us that you have debilitating anxiety. Yeah. Welcome to social media.
Okay, I'm gonna put this out here real quick. As you know, I like to do. I don't want anybody to go back about 30 seconds where she's making all those baby noises. I do not want you to go back 30 seconds and clip that out and email that to me. I do not want you to do that. I do not want you to do that. Do not send that to dearwokec@gmail.com. Do not do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. And if you do it, at least let me make sure let me at least put my email in here so at least know where not to send it. Okay, don't send that to me. Do not send that to dearwokec@gmail.com. No, Melinda, they're not supposed to send that to me. Do not do it. And do not put in the title, in the subject line, Mark. Don't put Mark, M-A-R-K, because that's the name of my editor. And I do not want him to I don't want him to do anything, any of these shenanigans, none of this behavior, none of these activities. So do not roll back about 30 seconds where she's making those baby noises. Here, let me roll it back just so y'all can hear it, because this is the voice of a mature adult woman. Do not clip this and do not send this to me, and do not put in the subject line Mark, M-A-R-K. You can do M-A-R-C too, but don't do it.
And regarding inauthentic Instagram posts, welcome to Instagram. Welcome to social media, my friend. Have you scrolled through your own feed? You and your wife. I love you. I love you, baby. I love you. You're so perfect. I love you. I love you more. I love you, my sprinkle poop hair, baby. Boop boobs. I love you. It's a piece of baby. It's wonderful. I love you. And now you're posting and you're about to tell us that you have debilitating anxiety. Yeah. Welcome to social media. Everyone's posting the highlights. He goes, recently I have seen, I love you, boobs. I love you. I love you, I love you. I love you, baby. You and your wife. I love you. I love you, baby. I love you. You're so perfect. I love you. I love you more. I love you, my sprinkle poop hair, baby. Boop boobs. He goes, recently I have seen with my own eyes the lengths that they will go through to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out. My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and has not stopped. My mom canceled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear her design, forcing her to urgently find a new dress. Somebody then pulled up a receipt and her dress was in the making for a year. So I don't know what he considers to be the 11th hour. But this feels like champagne problems a little to me. Like I want these problems in life. We go on. Weeks before our big day, my parents repeatedly pressured and attempted to bribe me into signing away the rights to my name, which would have affected me, my wife, and our future children. Okay, you're putting this on Instagram. You got to drop the contracts now, because my guess is like your dad and mom have maybe owned the Beckham brand, and they're trying to make sure that that's protected away from whatever you and Nicola. I'm guessing this is normal, but just so you know, if you live in a family where the rights to your name are discussed ahead of a wedding, you're doing great, my friend. You are doing so good, man. Like, toast to some more champagne problems. Oh, I dread having the discussion with my family over the rights to my name ahead of the wedding. He said they were adamant on me signing before my wedding date. Yeah, that makes legal sense, my friend, because then the terms of the deal would be initiated. My holdout affected the payday, and they have never treated me the same since. Hey, man, this is not that relatable. Just delete those sentences. It's not that relatable. He's like, my trust fund would have been impacted. I've never had a job, but if I had signed this paperwork, my trust fund would have been implicated. He goes on, during the wedding, my mom went so far as to call me evil because Nicola and I chose to include my nanny Sandra and Nicole's nanny, that's two grandparents, at our table because they both didn't have their husbands. Both of our parents had their own table equally adjacent to ours. So just to recap this basic every wedding seating chart problem. He's like, my mom was upset because she wasn't seated at the head table. Yeah, Brooklyn, just so you know, in most weddings, the parents are seated at the head table. You're her first son. You're getting married. Did she get a little spicy and say, this is evil? Please put me at the head table. This is not a problem that is worth saying your parents are dead to you over. This is not a problem for saying you don't want to reconcile with your whole family over. It's a gown and a seating chart, buddy. You are not suffering. Yeah, your mom wanted to sit at the head table. Faint. Color me shocked. I can't believe it. She sounds like a monster. What kind of mother? Nicola, he goes on, wore a custom Valentino hot. Oh, yeah, this is a little factoid. Yeah, so she won this gown. Okay, he goes on and he writes, the night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was not blood and not family. Oh, did your brother say something crappy about your wife? Okay, at my wedding, I'm not even kidding. Best man at the wedding, my husband's best friend, said during our dress rehearsal, he said, I give it 5 years. Okay, he said to me. I said, okay, bet. Like, yeah, we got engaged after 18 days. He was half joking. And now that we're 7 years married, every time I see him, I'm like, how much do you owe me? Yeah, okay, you get to know the family. Did your younger brother say she's not blood, not family before you got married? Are you really putting this on Instagram? This is like such a basic family feud that it's absurd that you are flaming your mom and dad over what everybody goes through. You know, suddenly you're married into a family, you got to all get to know each other, and there are some growing pains. Goes on, since the moment that I started standing up for myself with my family, I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. No evidence of that. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song. In front of our 500 wedding guests, Mark Anthony called me to the stage, wherein the schedule was planned to be.
Real quick, I'm just, again, y'all, I know, I don't understand what we're hearing. And I really think she's trying to overshadow, she's trying to delude some of the things that she said about Turning Point because her lawyer said you talk about them too much. Again, I understand she's talked about this before, so this is not the first time she's talked about it. But to this volume, like, what in the merciful name of God am I hearing? What are you talking about? I don't even understand what's going on. I'm so tired. I'm so with y'all. Like, I don't even understand what's going on. Like, what are we doing? Why is this a thing? Good gracious. Okay.
My more romantic dance with my wife, but instead, my mom was waiting to dance with me. And she danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. I have never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in my entire life. We wanted to renew our vows so that we could create new memories of our wedding day that bring us joy and happiness and not anxiety and embarrassment. So this was the big part because I said, oh,
his mom was backing it up on him?
You're telling me your mom hijacked your first dance and Mark Anthony called her to the stage? Like, that's actually horrific. I was like, okay, what's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on, guys. This was actually their third dance. Okay. You get into the nitty gritty. You then look at what actually happened, and it was all on Vogue. Vogue obviously covered the wedding. This is how billionaire weddings go, and it tells you in the Vogue article that they had multiple dances. So typically at a wedding, you do the first dance, then there's a band, then there's like the late night party. Well, Mark Anthony was the late night party. He started at 11 p.m. This was an all-day wedding. So Vogue tells us that after the ceremony, guests mingled over cocktails, decorated with seasonal white cherry blossoms as a jazz quartet played. Then a 12-piece live band took over the entertainment for the black tie dinner in the wedding tent, which had been decorated by HMR designs with garden roses layered with peonies, petite white ranunculus spray roses. In addition to traditional speeches, including those from Brooklyn best men, his brothers, Romeo and Cruz. The father of the groom, David Beckham, delivered a heartfelt tribute to his eldest son and his new daughter-in-law. When dinner, which was masterminded by Thierry Isambot Culinary, and the event design was over, the newlyweds had their first dance to Only Fools Rush In, which was performed by rising South African artist Loyizo. Then the friends then joined the young couple on the dance floor. Another dance reflected Brooklyn and Nicola's respective showbiz worlds, as well as famous members of the Beckham family's inner circle, the celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, his family, everyone's dancing. And then it tells us that Mark Anthony took over the DJ decks to close out the celebrations. So to be clear, according to people that were at the wedding, they had their first dance, and then she had a dance with her.
Let's to be clear, I have no clue what she's talking about. She should be talking, this should be in French. This could be in Portuguese. I have no idea what she's talking about. What is she talking about? But I do know this. I need you all in the chat, the best live chat on the internet. Please put the names Ben and Amy in the chat. And however long these two shameless people, put Ben and Amy in the chat. These two shameless people did not do what I told them not to do. They sent me that clip out and they emailed it to Mark. And so as many times as y'all put their name in there, that's how many 0-second timeouts they're going to be. They're going to be in timeout. Y'all are Ben and Amy. Enjoy yourselves in timeout. Have a great time because timeout is for you. You are now in timeout. I told you don't send that to me. That thing's hilarious, by the way. But still, I told you don't send it to me at dearwokec@gmail.com and don't put Mark's name in it. So that's why you're in 0-second timeout. Just keep multiplying the 0-second timeout. Keep going. Just keep flooding them. Yo, what is Candace talking about? What is she talking about, y'all? What is going on here? What is transpiring here? Give them extra time. Absolutely. Yes, Ben, you, sir. Enjoy. And where's Amy? Her too. I missed her. She probably sitting in 0-second timeout. This has got to be a joke. Like, what are we listening to, y'all? Do heterosexual men care about this? I don't even know who these people are. I know who David Beckham is and his wife. That's it. I didn't know they had kids that old. Like, dang, I didn't know that. Oh my God.
Her father, and then her and Brooklyn had some other dance, and then late night started at 11 p.m. And I'm going to assume that people were feeling a little saucy because usually at 11 p.m. at a wedding, nothing counts after 11 p.m. at a wedding. Nothing really counts after 9 p.m. at a wedding. But Nicola didn't have enough me time. And apparently, and I don't doubt this part, when they said that Mark Anthony said, now I'm inviting the most beautiful woman to the floor. And then he said Victoria Beckham. Mark Anthony is a Latino man. Okay. Who is expecting? Have you ever been to a Latino wedding, Nicola Peltz? Have you ever been to any Latino event and you're expecting that man to recall what he said at 11 p.m. at a party? No, absolutely not. This is ridiculous. Mark Anthony is actually the victim here. We are out here flaming Mark Anthony for being true to his Latino roots. He has no idea what he said. Victoria Beckham, do I think she was a little sloshed by 11 p.m.? Yeah, I do. I think she was. I think when she got on the dance floor at 11 p.m., maybe people forgot the order and you had your beautiful third dance planned or something. And then everyone just wanted to party. Okay, it was enough you all day, probably. That's the part of the wedding where people just want to have fun. And they didn't know you were going to run off and cry. And nobody knew you were crying. And now people are confused. And yeah, I bet Vicky B was boogieing. I bet she became Cardi B and she was all over the place. But this is what you're ending the relationship over. She didn't steal the first dance. She didn't steal the second dance. And Mark Anthony cannot be accountable after 11 p.m. That's my opinion. I don't think it's fair to Mark Anthony. I am team Mark Anthony. I think he was 3 caipirinhas deep. That's what I think. He had 4 caipirinhas, 2 shots of tequila. He made a little joke with his friend, and Nicola Peltz, who's never been told no, just ran off. So the last part of his statement to his family, he says, my wife has been consistently disrespected by my family no matter how hard we have tried to come together as one. My mom has repeatedly invited women from my past into our lives in ways that clearly were intended to make us both uncomfortable. He's referring to the fact that his brother was dating a girl that Nicola didn't like because she heard that, I don't know, I guess maybe he went on a date with her years ago. And so she didn't want this girl invited to any events. And obviously the mom's like, okay, well, she's dating my other son. And Nicola decides that she gets to also plan your events. And I guess she's insecure. It's her husband. Why do you care?
It's the irony for me, y'all. I don't understand what's going on. So I'm picking up little nuances and little breadcrumbs to try to figure out, get my way out of this Candyland forest of crazy. But the funny thing is how dismissive she is over the small petty behaviors of this man's wife, which I do kind of agree. They sound pretty petty. But when we overlay that over how the petty things that issues that she's had with TPUSA, you're like, hold on, wait. Where's that same energy? Like, you want them to just assume that Mark Anthony was drunk and he was a little bit inebriated, or that Vicky Beckham was a little bit drunk? We're just to assume that, but we can't assume that what Brian Harpo said about the drones was correct. We can't assume that just a random kid walking around the campus wearing a green hoodie is okay. We can't do that, but you're able to do this. We said this before, like Candace is the judge, jury, and executioner. She is everything. If she says that you're guilty, you're guilty. And you get 0 second. No, she puts you in real timeout. Ain't no 0 second timeout. She means it. It's just really wild how she addresses this stuff. And again, maybe the woman is wrong as 2 left shoes. I don't know. I don't even know what they're talking about. But I just picked that up. Like, so you assume these things about these people. You don't know that they're drunk. Okay, fine. It's a wedding, but that don't mean that they're drunk. They're there at 11 o'clock at night. That don't mean that they're toasted. They might be. I mean, it's very possible. I'm not going to say that they're not, but you don't know that. But you just read that into the narrative.
Could literally be best friends with any. Would I be no? I could bake cookies with any of George's exes. I just don't care. He's my husband. There's no insecurity there. Why do you care? What are you doing? This is a high school relationship pretending to be a marriage. That's what's wrong here. Then he complains that despite this, we still traveled to London for my dad's birthday, and we were rejected for a week as we waited in our hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. Yeah, you didn't want to go to his birthday party because you didn't like the invite list. And then you wanted him to carve out special time for you. You missed your dad's 50th birthday because Nicola was making demands. He rightfully refused all of our attempts, he says, unless it was at his big birthday party. Listen to him. I mean, they're just so spoiled. He refused all of our attempts to do what we wanted for his birthday. He said, come to the big 50th birthday party that we're planning with hundreds of guests and cameras in every corner, like your wedding. And when he finally agreed to see me, it was under the condition that Nicola wasn't invited because he probably wanted to slap you. Seriously, he probably just wanted to slap you and tell you that you are out of your mind, spoiled right now, and you are someone he doesn't recognize. Conversation man to man. Then he says later, when my family traveled to LA, they refused to see me at all. And his family values public promotion and endorsements above all else. Brand Beckham comes first. Family love is decided by how much you post on social media or how quickly you drop everything to show up and pose for a family photo, even if it's at the expense of our professional obligations. We have gone out of our way for years to show up. And
So the similarities, we're just going to ignore the things that she does. And somebody said that the wife is a narcissist. Okay, that's fine. She's being read by a narcissist. Can we agree to that as well? Like, Candace, you do these exact same things. You want people to jump through hoops about stuff that you think is important or that the way you think things should go. I'm sorry. This is an indictment on you, Candace, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is as much an indictment on, what's his name, Brooklyn Peltz Beckham, as it is on Candace. Like, this is you. You are the woman.
At every fashion show, every party, and every press activity to show our perfect family. But the one time that my wife asked for my mom's support to save displaced dogs during the LA fires, my mom refused. No, Brooklyn, I refuse. I actually refuse to think that people like you and your wife exist. Your wife, who has a very long record of being unbearable. Okay, that's the reality. Nick, just, running counter to this, he apparently sent his family maybe a cease and desist, whatever you want to call it, a legal letter telling them that if they wanted to contact him, they now need to go through his lawyer. Where is he learning that behavior from? Well, Nicola, it's what she does. It's a thing. She sues people over and over again when she doesn't get what she wants. She sues them because she experiences anxiety if she's told no, and she sues them when she wants to deal with her emotions. Case in point, a lawsuit that's currently going through the court system where her old dog, she had an old dog, a Chihuahua. She called for a van to come, like on the go. We can wash your dog in the van on your own property so you can sit here and watch us wash your dog. And the dog's old. And after the dog got cleaned, the dog came in and was anxious because, I think if a stranger takes your dog into a van, they might be anxious. And when you get anxious when you're older, there's a chance that you might have a heart attack. It's not great, is what I'm saying. Anyways, Nicola says that her dog was all weird and came in. And hours later, they rushed the dog to the hospital. And later on, the dog died. And so she's been suing. She's been suing this place that literally just cleans dogs. This is a real picture she posted. Now, I know you're thinking, well, didn't Brooklyn just say that the Beckhams were performative? Well, there's Nicola, and they're holding hands and crying as she buries her dog in, that looks expensive. That's just saying that looks expensive. In general, that's fine. She has the money. She can do what she wants. She has been suing them. She then alleged that maybe a dog, she recognized another dog, a French bulldog that she had from 2021, probably was also injured. And she hired Marty Singer. She hired Marty Singer to sue this little company because her Chihuahua died. They got the autopsy. And it turns out the dog had what Chihuahuas get a lot of, which is fluid in the brain. And that's very typical for Chihuahuas and small dogs. They build up fluid and they die. And she is saying that this happened because actually she realized that this company, they're serial killers. They're serial dog killers. So update everything, guys. We've gone from Ted.
Come on, y'all. Come on. So we're just going to pretend like Candace is not reading an indictment against herself? Is that what we're supposed to do? Let me know what we're supposed to do. This is crazy work. Candace, you do the exact same thing. You've done this exact same thing. I don't know why it's any of our business. Wow, Candace. And the silent jabs about this woman being rich while she herself is rich. Like, that's crazy work. Ma'am, stop pretending like you yourself are not wealthy. This is crazy work. All right, let's finish this up. This is bonkers. What am I doing?
Bundy to Jeffrey Dahmer to, I guess, this place that goes around just wanting to murder billionaire heiresses' dogs. She did that. She's been involved in a lot of legal spats pertaining to her wedding. She went through 3 different wedding contracts, one of which her father sued, and they sued back and said, your daughter is awful. Her hairstylist from when her dad put her in the Transformers movie, Justin Anderson, said she's awful. He was the worst client he's ever worked with, that she was so bratty. Because her dad never tells her no. Like, if someone said, can we sue a company out of existence because your old dog died? I'd say no to my daughter. I'd say you have to learn to accept death, and you probably need God. And they don't deserve that. But this is what they're doing going forward. So now he's with her, and he's learning that you can sue your family or have a lawyer send him a letter because, you just didn't get the dress made in the way that you wanted. And Vicky B gets a little drunk at 11 p.m. And poor Mark Anthony, the true victim in this entire story, got a little saucy. He did. I believe that. That part of the story, I believe. They didn't even say it, but I'm putting it in there. I think Mark was I think he was salsaing a little bit on the dance floor and told a little joke. Okay, now bring up the most beautiful Victoria Beckham. And Nicola ran off crying because she's never not had attention. Her relationship with Selena Gomez has fallen apart. I mean, she's got a whole track record. She was dating Anwar Hadid, Bella Hadid's brother. And he stopped talking to his whole family, and because she wanted it me. And they were very relieved when they broke up. And then she unfollowed his whole family.
We got to fix that bow tie, though. Got to fix that bow tie. I don't know if y'all know it, but I love bow ties. I have a very extensive bow tie collection. And he's got to fix that bow tie. That bow tie is not looking right.
Is that they were like, they think she's a demon, pretty much, allegedly.
Who is this person?
It's a long line of people, is what I'm saying, that are saying that this person is awful before you even factor in Vicky B, who has a very good reputation over in England. By the way, I've actually met both of their dads. I met Nelson Peltz. I like Nelson Peltz. I do. I met him many moons ago, and he's just like, he's a good New York Jew business guy. Just like his personality just kind of gels with mine. When you're from New York, you speak a certain way, and I like him. He's a business guy, but I think that he should know when not to give business advice and to give personal advice to his daughter. David Beckham, strange set of circumstances, also ended up somewhere. They've got all these private clubs and things in again, very many moons ago, and he probably has no idea who I am. Because I'm not this was a long time ago, but he wouldn't remember me. But he stood up at this dinner and he gave a toast. You should know this, Brooklyn, because there were no cameras there. And he gave a toast speaking about how much he loved his family. Heart of gold. How much he absolutely loved and adored his family. I don't even remember what the context of why he was even giving a toast, or who it was to. Right, that stuck with me, and I just went, they seem like really good people. And that's not to say that Nelson Peltz was not. He was also very nice, so I have nothing bad to say about him. And the wife as well, Claudia, her mother was really nice. Do you think your daughter needs to be told no once in her life? If you're suffering from anxiety 4 years after the fact over a wedding dress and Mark Anthony being a little drunk, you don't have real problems. You just don't have real problems. Anyways, I want to show you this really funny clip because everything is funnier in a British accent, made by these 2 young women that were discussing the drama. Did you pull that, Sky? Okay, let's roll it.
This is a message for Brooklyn Beckham.
Go to bed. Just go to bed.
Put the phone.
Put it down and just
down.
Go to bed. Honestly.
What are you doing?
What's
not 7 stories slandering your parents? I'm sorry. I don't know what's gone on, but that's not right.
I don't even have words. I don't even have words for the words that you've written in the notes on your phone, and thought it was okay to just put that on your Instagram story.
Brooklyn, are you drunk? Like, sorry, but what?
No, he's not. He's just not. Like, are you well? Are you quite well?
It's not acceptable to speak about
He will delete
like,
it soon because he'll realise and he'll delete it. That's why it's on stories and he hasn't done it as a post.
if you've got grievances with your parents, speak to your parents, not on Instagram. Come on.
Wow.
It was so true. Could not have said it better myself. Anyways, I'm following this drama because I'm just tracking the many. I mean, Selena Gomez and her had a dust up. They were like best friends, and then suddenly Nicola's writing on Reddit feeds. It looks like it's Nicola, or clearly someone friended Nicola, that like Nicola ended the friendship because Selena very clearly wanted Brooklyn. It's like she doesn't have anything to do. She doesn't have anything to do. I'm sorry, Vicky B missed the dog fire charity. I'm sorry she didn't come to watch you spend your father's money, but it's a pretty long flight. And yeah, that's just, they can cut a check and support it from afar. Very team Victoria Beckham. And I will drop my bias. I grew up on the Spice Girls. I loved them. But I'm not that biased because I actually wanted to be Ginger Spice, but I couldn't. My friends always said that I had to be Scary Spice. Because you could be racist back then. It was fine. We were all cool. Everything was fine back then. We had a fun time. And Vicky B gave me some hits. So Team Beckham. We'll be right back after a break. All right, you guys, if you are a parent,
Right.
then you know exactly what it means.
Okay, so I'm looking real quick. Somebody asked, are her numbers still going down? I don't think they're as good. I'll show it at the end. How about that? Let me get through these. Thank y'all so very much. These very kind supers. Let me just real quick pull these in and let's talk about them real quick. Thank you so much for supporting the channel right here. Thank you very much. Kingdom with the 2 Canadian chat says her blouse was $495. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, she wears a lot of very high-end clothing. She's not like us. Thank you again, Control with the 2. Burning my date document in the fallacies she's coined. Like she is making up this whole story thing about the mom and the daughter and all that. That seems like some confession stuff right there to me. Thank you so much for the 10. Who's us? Us, Candace, and the voices in her head. I agree. Like, why does she do that? Well, we've talked about this before, that she does that to kind of rope people into it, to kind of feel like they're a part of what she's doing. Amethyst says this with the 2. Is this her version of you done messed up now? I guess so. But I really am looking forward to see how this pans out. But I'm going to tell y'all at the end, if this is going to be the normal flow, our show going to be a lot shorter. We're going to find something else to do. Cabot needs to sue her also. Thank you, Red with the 2. Somebody else needs to, for sure. Observing Chaos says this is the 279. Candace is definitely going down with the ship. Yeah, Taylor Swift is getting off the ship. Candace, is she going to stay on it? Because she does a headstrong. JD right here with the 2 says this. Kerfuffle. It's a kerfuffle. LOL. I'm dead. Kerfuffles are real, man. They're real. Cindy says this with the 5. Being estranged from I'm your family is sad, whether you're rich or poor. Candace just loves to hate. Yeah, like that. I mean, that would be problematic. And I would want them to get healing, especially if their whole brand is that they're a family. Like that would make sense. So I'm right there with you. What's Doc say here with the 5? What are we watching, Jay Witt? This feels like Jerry Springer and TMZ had a baby. I'm going to need a shower after watching this trash. God help us. I'm right there. Not in the shower. That sounds weird. But I agree with you 100%. Thank you, friend. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, if she's going to do this every day, we're going to cut this short and we're going to do some body cam footage or something like that. We're not going to sit there and listen to gossip girls. But I do think, and I might have to go back and time it, I do think the gossip segment of this show was longer than the episode about TPUSA and their cease and desist letter, which again, this is the 3rd letter she's gotten, and this is the first time she's told anybody in her audience that she's been served some kind of letter and received some kind of legal letter from Turning Point. That's problematic. I'm sorry that she's going to have her Cantifa going to have to answer that. Why is it that this is her first time telling you, and this is her 3rd letter, and now she's telling you? That's a problem, Cantifa. All right, somebody was asking. Here, we'll just look at it real quick. I think this will be, we'll just break up the monotony. All right, so somebody was asking, are Candace's numbers going down still? Okay, so today, and this is Playboard. You can, look at all your favorite content creators and how they're doing. All right. So these are her numbers for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Monday, I'm not looking at the amounts that come in because she does receive quite a bit in super chats. However, it's the volume that I want to look at. So Monday, she had 66 super chats. She's never had that low of a number. This 10 right here is on a Saturday. So don't lose focus on that. Then yesterday, it was 187, and then today is 120. That's serious. That's serious. So again, she's there. The money's coming in. That's not my argument. I'm just pointing out that it's interesting to see the amount of people who are willing to support her is drastically going down, significantly going down. That's I'm wondering, is that playing a role into how she's moving on these YouTube streets? Let's get done because she's almost finished. Sorry about that.
This is trending on X. This might be my favorite trend ever, just the way that it's being phrased. Candace Owens kicks off her lawsuit era. Yeah, the Candace Owens Eras tour is going to be so lit. It's going to be so lit. And you're coming dressed as Brigitte. Don't even that's our favorite. I think that's our favorite lawsuit. Maybe it's, I don't know. I do like the Blake Lively one. It's funsies, but I think I would come dressed like that Halloween costume. Anyways, you guys, we have new merch on the website. Reminding you that we also have channels available in Spanish, French.
Okay, I didn't know that. That was, all right.
Date to what I said to Baron yesterday. Another donor who was at the Aspen event does remember, actually says that they do remember Charlie mentioning Erica. If, situation, something happened, that Erica would know what to do. So that seems to check out. The donor, I think, is a very good person and obviously doesn't want to be on record. But, different. I brought it up yesterday about whether or not that actually happened in Aspen, and there is a donor that does specifically remember that. So important to update that. Again, this is an open investigation. We ask questions. When we get answers, we share them. Okay, now let's get into some of your comments from today's episode. So much happening in the legal world.
But none of this is actually this investigation that you call it, it really isn't an investigation because you yourself have no authority. You yourself you're not deputized, sanctioned to do anything. So everything that you bring up, dredge up, is going to sink right back down to the bottom because nobody's going to do anything with it. And I've said this before, a lot of the information that she's gained, maybe she even got a confession. She got a confession from the other guy that was there that really deleted Charlie Kirk. Well, because her interference with it, that's not acceptable. You can't admit that. So again, she's not doing anything. I know people don't like that, and Cantifa really gets in their feels about it. But you can come up here to the front of the church, sit on up here by the TPUSA people. We'll give you a hug. Nobody cares. Nothing's going to happen from her quote unquote investigation. She's just mucking. She's just mucking around. Stop saying that, Jason, before you mess up with your words. She ain't doing nothing. Nothing is getting done. She's just stirring up mess. Same thing with the Macrons. Nothing's going to change. Not one thing is going to change if they find out the dude looks like a lady. Nothing. They'll be like, okay, fine, she's a lady. And they're going to continue on doing their thing. Not one thing's going to change. Okay, that's it. Let's finish this up.
What do you guys have to say to me today? We have Nutrition Jen writes, you called it with the Blake Lively drama of it all, but texts being released are way worse than we thought. Yeah, I just saw her coming. I can just look at people and I just catch a vibe and I'm like, I just knew that they were just flying high. You're Taylor Swift's friend. She's basically running WME. She's a walking $1 billion. They're going to do whatever she wants. And if you're going to be best friends with her for 10 years, you're going to start to just be around that energy and be like, well, if we don't get what we want, we're going to call up our friend Taylor. Schley Walt writes, this might be a low IQ comment, but I swear there is something bigger between you and Tim Dillon. I genuinely believe that with Tim on the Hollywood side of things, with those connections, along with your investigative journalism, you two will be the ones to save the world. First off, let's just shout out all of the comedians who have been so brilliant in like commenting on culture in a way that makes sense. It's not Tim Dillon is one, Dave Smith is another. They hate the fact that Dave Smith is also a comedian. Yeah, in order to be a good comedian, you kind of have to be smart. And Theo Von being the most relatable person because he just, it's common sense. It's common sense. Like Theo Von, when he delivers something, it's so heartfelt. And I feel like 2000.
What about Ami Kozak? Ami Kozak is a great comedian. I like him. Christian Johnson, he's a good one. Joshua Johnson, he's pretty legit. Okay, never mind. It's only comedians that stand with her and speak on the things that she talks about. Okay, gotcha.
And 25 was really the year where we realized that the comedians make much more sense than all of these politicians. So I absolutely love Tim Dillon. You should go subscribe to his show. I'm constantly ripping his content. I tell him he has to work harder so I can work smarter. Crazy Cat Lady writes, we stand with you, Candace. I hope this helps to get you out from under the contract. Go Max. Yeah, I'm just done. You can't buy people because you want to be immoral. That's just not fair. And like I've said so many times, any Turning Point USA person is welcome to this platform. So this isn't like this is my side and I only want to present my side. I have said, Blake Neff, if you would like to come, you can come onto this show. Andrew Colvett, please. I would love for the spokesperson for Turning Point.
Isn't it adorable when they did the exact same thing? You had all these excuses for why you couldn't come. When they made the same offer to you and said, hey, we're going to have a date for you. We'd love for you to come. You had 5,700 excuses for why you couldn't come. Okay, never mind, Jason.
USA to stop texting people to do his dirty work and to come be a big boy, put your big boy pants on and come sit across from me. We're not hiding and we are open to being wrong. And I was not convinced that any of these people were honest after that meeting, especially when you were like, yeah, no, you were kind of right about a lot of that stuff, but here's why this happens. And I shared those things. I think I've been pretty forthright and honest with my audience about things. And I still don't have a good feeling about what you're doing. So
nobody cares.
I was Charlie's friend, not yours.
Sucks. We know that you weren't anybody's friend. I don't believe you're Charlie's friend. So let me back that up because I just want you to see how she said, I'm Charlie's friend, but not yours. Turning Point should not even hear this because they should have blocked her, right? Block her, unfriend her, unfollow her, and keep it moving. Okay, watch how she says this.
For that meeting, especially when you were like, yeah, no, you were kind of right about a lot of that stuff, but here's why this happens. And I shared those things. I think I've been pretty forthright and honest with my audience about things. And I still don't have a good feeling about what you're doing. So, I was Charlie's friend, not yours. Sucks to suck. Golden Girl writes, I can't wait to see all the memes and clips of you saying you'd have better luck suing the Sun. You are the best. Keep going, Max. Christ is king. I hope they do it. That Sun don't be acting right sometimes, right? It's like you wanted to do this. It's like, look at the contract. See right here? Yeah, Sun, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Learn to be a friend. Learn to be an actual true friend. And that's kind of been something that I realized has shaken the political world to their core because they don't understand it. The politics is all about who you can blackmail, who you can lie on, stepping on someone's head to get ahead, people sleeping with each other, being deceitful, cheating on each other, lying about who they are, right? Being closeted homosexuals while presenting like they're family men. And I think they hate me because despite all of them having had access to me, they know that there's nothing there, right? They know who I am. They know that I was a good person. They know that I was, in some aspects, a good employee, a good friend, both. And so they have to just make stuff up. I care about my family. I don't care about social media. I don't care about taking pictures amongst the stars. I want to do right by my family. I want to have real relationships with real human beings. Remember, that was also a thing, where are your famous friends? Like, what? Why don't you guys have normal?
Why did she? I'm sorry, I got to stop there. She just tell her historical revisionism is weapons grade. Like it is serious. Nobody said what she's saying. Nobody said that. And I know exactly where she got that comment from. And that person didn't say what she's saying. It is wild that she keeps telling these stories like this. It is crazy work. But if you go back and listen to this, it does sound like somebody who's rejected. Like they did not accept me. They did not accept me. I was a good employee. I was a good person. I'm a family person. Ma'am, you're never with your family. You're always here. We always see you on social media. Again, 87% of the stuff that she says about other people is really truly about her. Maybe 93%, but I'm not going to give you less than that. So this is some wild work. Okay, let's go.
Friends, it's so weird to me that you think it's abnormal to have real friends in the real world.
Who is saying this?
Again, Tim Dillon is right. They're chasing celebrity. It's just Hollywood. It's the same thing. DC and Hollywood are the same thing. People in Hollywood are kind of prettier and they're like uglier in DC. That's kind of what's going on here. They're all kind of chasing the same thing. They're all vacuous. There's nothing there. There's no substance. When they use the Lord's name, it's because they want more followers for saying that. Me, no, I want to be considered legitimate. And so when people try to push me to speak more about Catholicism, I tell them I'm like a young pup. There are so many people that are way better suited, my husband among them, who would never even want to have the platform or have a camera in front of his face. But you could go pursue that with a priest. You know, you don't need influencers to tell you about the Lord.
See, that's the thing. Anybody who I'm a deacon, okay? I'm ordained a deacon in the Presbyterian Church. But I'm also before I was a deacon, I was a Christian who Christ had saved. We can have a dialogue. I don't need a title to have a conversation with you about the Christian faith. See, the problem is Candace doesn't know anything. And so I don't know if she's willingly knows nothing or she just uses it as a default. She really doesn't care. I don't think she really cares, to be 100% honest with you. I don't think she really cares about the Christian faith. It is just a badge that she wears. For her to sit there and say, oh, I'm just a pup, I don't know anything. But she makes demonstrative statements about Protestantism that are on their face false. Ma'am, you're putting the target on your situation because nobody asked you to say what you said. So no, you're not going to get away with that, Candace. Let's get done. It's like 2 seconds left.
There are priests that you can sit down with and speak to and have questions. And I still have questions and I'm still learning. So yeah, I think that's what it is. They hate me because they actually know that I'm a good person and that I did right by them. And the Dave Rubin thing yesterday really proved that for me. Golden Girl writes, I can't wait to, I read that. Tiffany writes, you know what a lawsuit means. Loads of depositions and discovery. Oh my. Imagine. Could you imagine all of the text messages I would have access to? The timeline that I could put together? I can't. Sorry, it's making me giddy. I can't even. The idea of putting together that kind of a timeline.
Something about you don't get to just unequivocally say, oh, well, you're suing me here. I'm going to use a biblical worldview. Shout out to a biblical worldview. She is on X. Y'all go check out what she's doing over there. Wonderful sister. Every day she puts out fantastic newsletter, a nice little commentary every morning on her Buy Me a Coffee page. Go check her out and support her. Tell her I told you to come over there. But let's just say biblical worldview is suing me. All right. That doesn't mean that I get to look at, I just get carte blanche discovery of everything. It has to be related to the lawsuit. So if biblical worldview was suing me because I wore a green hat on my stream, I'm not going to be able to be like, well, I want discovery about the type of car that you drive. It doesn't match. It doesn't match. So you don't just get some carte blanche. Now, if the lawsuit is pertaining to something and I need a text message, then that makes sense. Or you're suing me because something about your car, then of course the car comes into play. You don't just get this carte blanche. Candace treats it like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get everything. I'm going to find out your third grade spelling test, and if you really pay back your fees and dues for Girl Scouts, and I'm going to find out your mom's maiden name and blah. No, you don't. That poor woman is so dumb. She's so dumb.
It fills me with Christmas spirit. I can't even think about that. Don't even.
Because you know it's not going to work.
It's too exciting. The One You Feed writes, it's almost like they are purposefully ravishing the reputation. No one is this stupid. Why? Do they just want to rub it in our face that they can do what they want with impunity? Do they want us to feel hopeless? Yeah, it's either we're so. I do think you get like stupid rich. You know what I mean? You ever mean something like she's stupid rich? Like she's got so much money. Nicola Peltz is stupid rich, right? They don't know what to do. It's like it's pouring in. It's never going away. And so we're just going to inconvenience the rest of you. That's one option. Or, by conspiracy, Elizabeth McCoy, she's coming up in the regs. She's just in the ear like, yeah, send the cease and desist to Candace. That's a good idea. Wear the sparkly pants. Send the cease and desist. More glitter. I don't know. We're going to find out anyway. This person just writes donation toward the Lord and truth. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, we will keep plugging. I'll let you know how they reply to our response, which is we're happy to pay you since you care about money. And we'll keep you guys posted. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. So, y'all, that was dumb. I ain't even lying. That was some real weapons grade ignorant right there. I think the only thing that really made sense was the opening and the little bit that she went over. But I really wonder, and y'all keep an eye out on Twitter. If you see it, I'm not going to go to Twitter. I'm going to go talk to Chief Executive Secondborn. But if she does post on Twitter her the actual letter, I'd love to see it. And I will go over it. If y'all post it, maybe I'll do a morning show tomorrow. We'll just go over it. But yeah, this is, I'm going to also say this. If this is going to be the stilo of her show where she just does this opening about Turning Point and now she's trying to like deflect or get people off topic and start talking about Gossip Girl stuff, we're going to have to come up with something different. We might do some body cam footage or something. I'm not going to sit there and listen to these people. I don't even know what she was talking about. I really don't. I have no idea what I was listening to. Only person I know is Taylor Swift and David Beckham and his wife, Victoria. That's the only people I knew. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. So if that's going to be her jam, we might come up with some modifications, if you will, do a little change up. But I do think that we're going to hear more about the Macron case because the Macron case is still right around the corner. It's gone nowhere. Thank you so much with the $10 New Zealand. Candace is done. This cease and desist, and Dave Rubin got her good. Hey, add Daily Wire to it. Daily Wire keeps annoying her. Every day, Daily Wire annoys her. Matter of fact, last night, somebody asked, before the show ended last night, somebody asked me to play Daily Wire's most recent video. I'm sure y'all have seen it already. But just in case you haven't, I will play it because I think that's the right thing to do. We're going to play it. And then we'll get ready to get out of here. I'm going to go
had a dream.
Check on Executive Secondborn. Everybody, let's pull this in. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
I had a dream. I had a dream. And like I said, this one was clear. I had a dream that Charlie was betrayed. I had a dream, and I feel as strongly about the dream that I had that Charlie was betrayed by people closest to him. Never ignore your subconscious. That's why I say pay attention to my dreams.
Have you ever had a dream that...
No, you had a dream. Charlie told you he was... Yeah, Charlie told me that he was betrayed. Charlie was sitting on the patio, and he was eating hummus. He's like, this is the best hummus I've ever tasted in my life. I had a dream. It was so clear. I promise you can actually fact check this with Village Crazy Lady, my girl Mel.
You do.
Loving your emails, telling me about your dreams. People in Turning Point had dreams. Dreams can give you some sort of intuition. And I certainly think that mine gave me a lot of intuition. Oh, the cool kids don't pay any mind when they have a very vivid dream. And Charlie in the dream says he was betrayed. Oh, the cool kid, that's so, it's not cool. I have been having a lot of dreams.
You want
Candace Owens, and to try to paint her as a crazy person because she had a dream. And I'm sticking with the dream. But many people actually had dreams, and they email me them all the time. And I had another vivid dream. The dream was so vivid. It was like, if you've ever seen Harry Potter, they're just going on vibes in a dream on the Candace show. That's it. She had a dream, and now she's just blindly pointing the finger at everybody. Tell me who betrayed you. It wasn't until the third week after his death that finally one face came through in this dream. It came through as clear as day from around the corner of the restaurant. And it was
you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
sorry, that was a dream that I had.
Well done. Well done. Daily Wire. Daily Wire is giving her headaches. I'm telling you. Y'all, this is some crazy work. I don't know what to do. This is some crazy, crazy work. Like, what in the world's wrong with her? Okay. So tomorrow's Thursday. The goal, the plan. I'm gonna be starting late because I gotta go pick up big girl from school. However, we will play bingo. I had bingo ready. I didn't start because I came in rushing, came in on 2 wheels. So we'll play bingo tomorrow. But everybody, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Thank you to the very kind, very supportive super chats. It means a lot. Thank you to brand new members. But thank you to everybody who just watches the videos. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate that y'all watch. It means a lot that y'all jump in. And there was almost at one point 1,900 of us in here. And I thank y'all for that and just want to hang out with me and help me make it through this, which is, I do this. I'm doing this. And then y'all come to watch it with me. And it means a lot. So I really do appreciate it. I do want to ask you a question. If there is a Macron case that actually goes to court or anything of that nature, and I believe Delaware is a camera in courtroom state, would you want to watch that if it were streamed? I almost kind of know I know the answer to this. But if you would want to, if the Macron case does go to court and they actually do stream it, would you want to watch it? So we'll be doing it during the day or whatnot like that. Would you want to do that? I kind of think I know the answer because I know y'all. I do think I know the answer, but I just want to ask. So that, and then of course I will be streaming the Tyler Robinson case that as well because I know that TPUSA is looking for and they're pushing for a speedy trial. So I will definitely be doing that as well. So, okay, looks like the general consensus is where I thought y'all would be, which is dope. Thank y'all so much. Who knows? Maybe I'll go up there. Maybe I'll go up to Delaware. I'm gonna run up in there and say, I object. Throw her in jail. That would be crazy work. I don't think the Macron case is gonna go to trial. One of the other things about Candace I've noticed is Candace really, she puts forward a face that's different than what she's actually doing. So if you go back and watch, like when she was on Tucker Carlson, oh no, we would never want to we don't want to dismiss this case at all, while she's literally actively filing to have it dismissed. And matter of fact, that's what we're on now. We're still on the dismissal argument, waiting for the judge to come back on that. So I noticed that about Candace. So as big and as bold as she is about, oh, I can't wait for discovery. Yeah. I think deep down in the resources of her mind, she is worried about discovery because that discovery road does go both ways. And it is very possible that she's not going to get everybody's cell phone data, but they are going to get stuff about her that she doesn't want to get out there. So let me just real quick check. Nothing is new on the judge deciding about the motion to dismiss. But I just think that's amazing that that's going on. And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to get dismissed. But she's actually actively trying to get it dismissed. So don't be surprised that Candace is doing something right now. Again, talking smack about starting to GoFundMe. How much money do you need me to pay you? Maybe in the contract it said you have to pay them back if you break the contract. Maybe that's what she's alluding to. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert by any means or measures, but that maybe in the contract it says, hey, we pay you $20,000. If you break the contract, you owe us back the $20K. Maybe that's what it said. I don't know. But that's why I don't think she shared the whole letter. But hopefully she will. If she shares the whole letter, it will dispel many of the questions that we have. But everybody, I want to say thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Thank you so much for jumping in again to the best and most electrifying live chat. I do want to tell you tomorrow at 1:00, I have a church security officer coming in. We're just going to talk very quickly about what happened in Minnesota this past weekend with the rioters and protesters attacking a church in Minnesota. And he's just going to lay out a simple plan, like what to do first if your church doesn't have any security plan at all. You have no security plan. You never thought that we'd ever get here where you need to consider a security plan. And he's just going to lay out some very simple things. What should you do? Because I mean, there's a lot of simple things you can do that don't require weapons, that don't require machinery or anything like that. And everybody can do it. So he'll be on tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time. It's not going to be a super long, because I want to be something that you can share and you can pass along amongst your church community and whatnot like that. So that'll be tomorrow. And I hope that you'll get a lot out of that. So that'll be that. And then, of course, we'll be back tomorrow evening for, I guess, more what's going on with Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. I guess, I don't know. Everybody, thank y'all so much for supporting. Again, I appreciate all of the very kind super chats. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to everybody who's been a part. If you have subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. I am shooting for 100,000 subscribers before the end of April, so help me out. If you haven't subscribed, come on, join me. It'll be fun. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much. Tip your waiters on the way out the door. Let's go ahead and flood it with green hearts on the way out of here. Everybody have a fantastic night. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.